I mean, she was beautiful, isn't it?
I thought we were done for.
I proposed to her, but I managed to survive that and started to chase the convoy on foot. Used grenades, used dynamites, used everything I had. And she decides to take off with her vehicle, which I stopped her from doing. He had some guts, dude. See, he was trying to chase the convoy with a pistol in his hand. Much better. And I ran over the priest of all sin. It all started when I decided to go for the mission where you have to take out John's trucks, three different convoys with mounted machine guns and whatnot. And here I was trying to take out the first one. I was not alone, by the way. Eric was with me, but as you can see, we were having a really bad time. Starter weapons and three mounted machine guns. It was just a bad situation. We were wiped out pretty quickly. And this is how my weekend with Far Cry 5 began. And it was gonna be a really fun one, as you're gonna see in this video. We obviously didn't give up, and we gave chase to the convoy once again. But it was not a great idea, because the machine gun was like right in my face. I took out one of the gunners, but the other two vehicles, they really smashed us pretty hard. And I was down and out, but thankfully my buddy got me back up. That's why you want friends in life. Anyways, I was persistent and stayed right behind the convoy, ramming one of the vehicles, and once again the machine gun of the second one was right in my face and I was taken out. And this time I realized that my buddy was not on the vehicle with me, but he managed to make it to me, got me back up, but this vehicle was right next to us and took me out, and him too. So yeah, it was a bad start. It was daytime now. This time we decided to approach the convoy from the opposite direction. Plan was to ram it head on, but the driver was very clever, took a sharp turn just at the right moment to avoid us. And despite having an armed vehicle this time and Eric as my gunner, the two machine guns were a bit too much, and there were other hostiles in the vicinity. There was a sniper taking shots at us as well, so I had to retreat in order to regain health. I was eager to leave the area, but Eric was engaged in combat, so I had to get out to assist him. There was a sniper in the farm behind us, hiding somewhere, taking accurate shots at us. Eric was down, I had to help him. And see, I was struck with sniper shots twice, precise shots. Decided to leave the area. It was just a waste of time and I was focused on the convoy. So once again, we were in pursuit of the convoy, decided to not stay behind them, instead like go parallel and cut them off up ahead. And we managed to successfully do that because there was a curve in the road, so we decided to ambush them right here, which was a problem because I didn't realize that I had stopped right at an outpost, so we were getting shot at in our backs, and in the front of us were the convoy machine guns. Eric was down and out, he was taken out in combat. I was alone now and I decided to take out these guys and liberate this outpost instead of going after the convoy all alone. A good decision to take this outpost instead of going after the convoy all alone, because it would have been a disaster anyways. Found this gun here as well, which was a scoped rifle. I was struggling a bit with the accuracy with the controller because I was playing with the controller. I like playing first person shooters with mouse and keyboard, but an open world first person shooter like Far Cry, I always choose a controller because I get tired of using a mouse and keyboard at work and playing games using the same. It just doesn't feel like fun, feels like work to me. When I'm playing Warzone, I have to stick with mouse and keyboard because I feel very tied down while using the controller, but here it was pure joy. I did find taking distant shots a bit difficult, but overall, using a controller was fantastic. I had a blast. Taking out this outpost was really fun. See, that guy was looking in the opposite direction. Just a couple of guys were left, and they were taken care of eventually, and the outpost was free. Liberation. The problem was right after this, when I was trying to go after the convoy, I was thrown into this mission where I was picked off by John's men. This is something that I am not a big fan of. Like, I was not looking forward to going into a story mission, but it happened out of the blue, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I was taken to John Seed.
For only then may we stand in the light of God and walk through his gates.
These guys are the real stars of the show here. And eventually Joseph Seed also showed up
Not let your sin prevent that.
and showed some special interest in me, so that was something.
Despite all that you have done, you are not beyond salvation.
You're not here by accident or by chance, of course, man.
Accident, by chance.
You are here by the grace of God. You've been given
Grace of God.
a gift, the ability to like and subscribe,
If we just confess,
isn't it?
if we confess right away,
I'm trying to learn how to ask people to, like and subscribe and all that stuff. I'm a bit weak in that area.
Show them no mercy.
And finally we met the pastor,
Stay with me.
the priest, whatever it is from Falls End. I've forgotten his name right now. And we were in this mission fighting off baddies. See, I was trying to go after those trucks, the convoy, but where the game took me. Only this thing is something that I am not a big fan of. Otherwise, I've had a blast, and I really enjoyed playing through the missions as well. And right here, he was talking to me, the priest, but I was trying to jump on his head, and it was possible actually, surprisingly. So I was finally able to free this guy. I think his name was Merle. And we had to fight off enemies for the next 2 minutes. Use the mortar gun. Killed a lot of bad guys. It was fun. The mission was... It was really fun. And there was something really comical that happened later on, which was something that irritated me a bit too. After dealing with all these guys, I make my way to the chopper, and when I sit inside, I see that Merle is down there. He has been incapacitated by the enemies. I go out, revive him, take a good amount of damage while trying to revive him, and once again he's down. See, this guy is like useless. And it's not over yet. You're gonna see some really cool stuff here. It's not over, sir. Once again I go back. This time I think I forgot to revive him. I think when I played it I thought that I had revived him, but now when I see the footage I see that I didn't really revive him. It's not a very useful guy in combat though, as of now. Didn't really do much to impress, so we took off and we landed at the spot where we were supposed to land, and the mission was complete. And finally I was free to go after the convoy once again, because that was my focus all the time. And I used the chopper, the same one that we used to bring back Merle, and came all the way here, once again trying to ambush the convoy, all alone this time though. This time I used the scoped rifle to take some shots and try and take out the gunners, but I was not successful because I was not very accurate with the controller. I think with the mouse I would have been able to take out these guys, at least one or two of them, but none of them were harmed by that gunfire. And I don't know how, but that shot hit me while I was like on a lower terrain. I rescued a lot of civilians as well while playing the game, so I did the
Saved my life.
heroic stuff all the time. Always willing to help the ladies, the damsels in distress. And I died a lot of times too. Finally, instead of going after the convoy, I landed here at Falls End. The battle for Falls End had started. It had begun. Tried to thin them out using the sniper rifle. The priest was handcuffed down there. Tried to take out as many of them as possible from a distance before moving in, because there was a good amount of baddies out there. And all this while what I was thinking was that the game looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks better than how I remember it looked like when I played it for the first time. And I think a reason for that is I played it on a weaker system and compared to what I'm playing it on right now. I'm playing it maxed out, so that is the difference. And I'm also playing it on a better monitor, which is also a big difference. The combat was ridiculously fun. And if you're playing a game like this, driving in first person mode can sometimes trigger a weird headache, which was something that used to happen with me a lot. And I used to think that it is something to do with the game, but it is not actually. Shout out to Terminator, who told me that you have to increase the FOV to like 100 or 105 in order to, avoid that kind of situation. And I'm pretty sure when I played the game for the first time, I was playing with like 70 FOV or 80, I think, max. I never paid much attention to the field of view, but it makes a big difference if you are feeling sick because of driving in a first person mode, in a first person game where you have to drive a lot. You'll be able to enjoy the game a whole lot more if you turn the FOV all the way up to like 100 or 105. So that is something to keep in mind. It really helped me, and I'm grateful for the advice by Terminator. So when I played Far Cry 6, I cranked the field of view all the way up, and I was like having a great time. Though one thing I would like to say, that while riding a horse in Far Cry 6, it really messes my head up. Like, it's the screen shaking effect, which really like messes up things for me. Like, I really start to sweat a lot, and really gives me a bad headache. So that is something, but thankfully that is something which is not present in this game. There is no horse riding here. So with the field of view set to 100, I'm having a blast, and as you can see, I was really enjoying the game, and I'm gonna be playing it right through. I'm gonna be completing this. Falls End was about to be liberated.
Who the hell do you think you are? Let's get these assholes out of our town.
There was this plane remaining. and I had to take it out. But instead of going for the machine gun mounted on the roof of the building next to me, I tried to take it out using the sniper, which was not a good move. Finally got to the rooftop and decided to do the right thing, use the right tool.
Heads up! Cold plane incoming! Shoot it down! I can't keep getting hit like this! Something about that plane! Try the machine gun! I'm gonna strafe him!
Here it comes. And the plane was history. A few moments later, False End was liberated. It was fantastic. Had a really good time with the combat, and the mission was really fun overall. Success. But the convoy still remains. The 3 convoys actually. And once again, I was back to tracking the convoy. It was really close to me this time, but I had realized that it was stupid to get close to them, because 3 machine guns were a bit too much, and I still hadn't really gotten the good stuff yet, so I had to be careful. Tracking them and trying to be like sneaky was ridiculously fun, and dying, trying to take them out was also fun time without doubt. So they noticed me and started to fire.
Fucking easy to take them down, yo! Turning assholes into speed bumps! I like it!
Was taking fire from other guys as well, other hostiles in the vicinity. It's not successful at the night time, but here we took damage from a flamethrower. This time Eric was with me once again, and we both died. We died a ton of times, man. And trust me, I had a really good time because it really made me feel challenged. Though I was very reckless throughout, because I was constantly in a goofy mood, looking to have as much fun as possible on the weekend. And I've had a blast playing the game, and instead of going with Warzone that I usually do on weekends, sticking with a single player first person shooter was a much better experience because it really allowed me to chill out. Warzone can get a bit stressful at times even if you are not trying to be sweaty, but here it was like pure entertainment and absolute relaxation. My buddy was down. Whoa. See that explosion. Once again, the convoy approached us at a very bad timing. There were other baddies in the region, and at the same time we see the convoy coming towards us. My buddy was down, he was out. I couldn't really do anything at this moment because there were way too many enemies right in front of me. So if I stepped out and tried to do anything adventurous, I would have been dead. I decided to stay hidden. Tried to take a few shots at the convoy, but these guys, the baddies all over the place, they kept me busy. The convoy was out of sight slowly. Eric was dead. I feel bad for the guy, man. He was really helpful throughout the weekend. There was a chopper above me. It was time to teach him a lesson, the pilot of this chopper. And yes, the chopper was finally history. After that, I ran into this roadblock trying to chase the convoy. I was expecting the convoy to come through, but realized that it was actually moving in the opposite direction, not very far from the roadblock. So after taking care of business at the roadblock, I decided to chase the convoy once again, trying to take it out. Plan was to take an armed vehicle, one with a mounted gun. I had no companion this time, so the idea was to like get close to the convoy and quickly switch to the mounted weapon and take some quick shots and take out at least 2 vehicles and make the job a bit easier. So here I was once again going after the convoy, which was pretty close. It was right in front of me now, but I was cautious. I had died so many times to them, the damn machine gun fire. But finally bit the bullet and moved in. And I quickly switched to the machine gun, and it actually worked better than I thought. I managed to take out the last vehicle, did some serious damage to it, but something else popped up. I meant to mess things up. Yeah, there was another helicopter right over me, which was a big problem because my vehicle was damaged and I had to move to the other one, which I had already damaged by my own machine gun fire, but was planning or thinking to use the gun on it to take out the chopper, but couldn't spot it. See? Goofy thing, and it bombed the crap out of me. After that, I moved to this location where you have this dude's underground bunker, secret bunker below. Killed the guys here. Damn man, I died so many times trying to get the convoy, and so many choppers I ran into. Another one. And I can tell you that for not even a single moment I felt frustrated throughout this gameplay. I was having a very good time. Nothing frustrated me at all. You might think that I was frustrated by dying so many times, but no sir, not at all. I was having a blast. All the guys at this location were done, and I was looking for the bunker now in order to get my hands on all the good stuff, the money and stuff. In a few minutes I was able to get to the cache and a vehicle as well, which looked surprisingly durable to me. So I decided to use it to go after the convoy and set up a roadblock this time. I was alone, by the way, and was under attack already by some baddies from the Kurd. I had to take them out, which I did. And now I use their vehicle as well to strengthen the roadblock. The plan was to hide in the bushes right next to the road, wait for the convoy to move in, and then attack using explosives this time. Patiently waited for them, and finally they were here. It was my moment. Used grenades, used dynamites, used everything I had, and it was working. 2 of the vehicles were gone. I was close to success. A very hard-earned one, actually. 1 vehicle was still remaining with a machine gunner on it, but I was close. And he was done. Finally, the first convoy was taken care of. After that, while tracking the next convoy, I ran into this gentleman. He's a gentleman because he had this to say about me.
You are an
Yeah,
inspiration.
fantastic. That was amazing. So I decided to take out this outpost that he pointed me towards. Before going for the convoy, I had some work to do here. Lots of pumpkins all over the place. Oh, so Joseph Seed is maybe dealing in pumpkin juice as well. Not so sure about it, but looks like that to me. I decided to be sneaky because I wanted to get the no alarms bonus, get some cash, more cash, So, plan was to be stealthy. Went for the guy on the rooftop first. It would have been a big problem. He was very cooperative, didn't really do anything. The place looked really good. There was a guy with a flamethrower too. People imprisoned here, chained and stuff. Not a pretty sight actually. It was time to set them free. It was time to get to work. It took me a while to, get started here, but eventually I did. It was time to make the move. I wanted to take out the alarms, but they were like all over the place, so I had to start here. Instead of going for the alarm, I had to start with these two guys over here. Use distractions to make things easy. Took out one. It was time to go for the next one. I was trying to distract everybody. He was almost alerted. Took out the alarm with that shotgun shell. There was one more alarm remaining and this dude was trying to set it off. But I managed to stop him just in time. And he was out, which meant my bonus was secured. Now I had to just take these guys out. And that was it. With that explosion, the Sunrise Farm was free. And I was back to tracking the convoy once again. And something very interesting was about to happen now. I was under attack by the machine gunners from the second convoy. And my vehicle was stuck. It was a bad spot, so I had to get out. No other options. There was a silo next to me. And another truck moved in. But I was grateful that they came in, and you're gonna see why in a moment. I took out the guy with a machine gun, and finally I saw something cool on the ground. It was a machine gun which I finally picked up, which meant that I had some good firepower now in order to deal with the convoy. And they knew that I had gotten my hands on the machine gun, so they decided to shell the area, but I managed to survive that and started to chase the convoy on foot. Now this was gonna be epic. This was gonna be my revenge. They were shooting at me. It was tough without doubt, but I had the advantage as I was moving through the woods and I had the cover of the trees. And finally, I was close to them. They were not going very fast. Took out the gunners on two of the vehicles. Only one remained. I was taking damage, but I was doing really good. Two vehicles were gone, only one remained. We were about to take out the second convoy of John Seed. Now, I was feeling confident by now. And with the help of the machine gun which we picked up, we were able to take out the second convoy, which was a big relief. Finally, we were getting things done. And while going for the third one, I ran into some baddies. and a silo which I destroyed. I was constantly fighting, picking up different fights, trying to help resistance warriors. I was doing everything I could to help the resistance. There was no shortage of baddies to shoot, and the game looked beautiful all this while. I was really enjoying it. This dude was a bit different in terms of looks, you know. I was robbing their bodies constantly because nothing should go to waste. Trying to attack the vehicles. It's not successful on that one. They managed to escape. There was no shortage of action, and it was fun. And there was a lot of dying involved as well, as you've seen throughout this video. So I called for some backup again. Eric was with me, and we were fighting together with this girl. So you know, we always help ladies. So she was involved in a fight here, but she decided to leave without saying thanks. And I was kind of heartbroken. The deputy has a heart too, and has a big one. Multiple ladies can settle in.
That fucking sucks.
She was not interested. And we had to move on after destroying this truck that moved in. The explosions, they look so good, really spice up the whole experience. It was time to move on though. We were tracking the convoy. The third and final one. But we saw the same girl from earlier up ahead on the road fighting some baddies, so decided to try my luck with her once again. I really wanted to impress her, but she was just a bit rude, to be honest.
Hey, you're the one who freed Falls in. The Colt has one.
And she decides to take off with her vehicle, which I stopped her from doing, kind of politely. If she would have said yes to my advances, I would have definitely given her a ride, but not anymore. It was time to say bye to her and move on.
Not my time.
There's no shortage of women out there. And I found one not so far away. Here she was. I rescued her,
Thanks. They got the jump on me.
and this time it was kind of love at first sight.
Saw all kinds of crazy lights coming
She
from
looked
there.
absolutely gorgeous.
It could just be a power surge, but I'm worried he might be running one of his experiments again.
I mean, she was beautiful, isn't it?
I thought we were done for.
I proposed to her again and again, and it was embarrassing. She was just indifferent, so I had to move on once again. I took a look back at her. She was boarding a truck.
Trapped in here with us.
I was heartbroken, but I had to say bye. And we moved on. She went her way, and we went our own way. Later on, we ran into a chopper while we were looking for a spot to ambush the convoy. The choppers were quite troublesome, to be honest. Really gave me a run for my money. And it was a bad place and a bad timing because the convoy was approaching and the chopper was eating up my ammo. Eric was also taking damage. It was just a bad situation overall. We did manage to take it out. We had burned a lot of ammo in this whole process. We found another friendly dude here,
Everyone's still in one piece?
fellow resistance brother, and the convoy was passing through right next to us, but it was a bad situation. We were in no position to engage it. And the resistance fighter whom we met, he decided to chase the convoy for some reason, and he got messed up in the process. I was waiting for the convoy to get out of sight so that I can help him. It was a close call for him, but I did manage to save him, and it made me feel really good. And he had some guts, dude. So he was trying to chase the convoy with a pistol in his hand, and this attitude of his really made me go after the convoy. He really inspired me with his fiery attitude, and I decided to chase the convoy, which was a bit far, but I did manage to eventually kind of catch up. But this area was bad to engage the convoy. I was standing in the open, and the convoy was a bit far, so it was not an ideal situation. This was the final one, so it had to be a bit typical, you know, it had to be complicated. Easy would have been just anticlimactic. We ran into some other baddies entirely, and it was a tough fight. I got downed. Eric was close to me though, and once again he was the hero, saving me. We were fighting. We were fighting together like brothers. But I was downed once again, and this time Eric couldn't save me as he was taken out as well. So another attempt a while later, and this time we got the convoy right in front of us, but it was still a very tough situation because there were other vehicles apart from the convoy vehicles. There was a lot of commotion, a lot of confusion all over the place, lots of baddies all around. There was this vehicle parked right in front of us with some resistance fighters who were being taken by the cult. The convoy had moved on. We freed the hostages, took out the baddies who were transporting them. It was quite a fight. Me and Eric, we managed to clean house here. Now it was time to go after the final convoy, and this time I decided to let Eric drive, and I was in the gunner's position. I've had enough. This was gonna be it. We wiped out whoever we came across on our way, and we were moving towards the convoy, and they were right in front of us. We took them out one by one. The mission was about to be completed, and yes, it was. It was a success. All 3 convoys destroyed, John's trucks completely gone. The fun weekend with Far Cry 5 was not over. Far from it actually. We were now at Nick's airfield, which was under attack by a lot of baddies. So I decided to help him and see what he was up to. It was time to make some powerful friends actually. Eric was taking damage, so I decided to hop onto the mounted machine gun and take care of business. It was fun times without doubt. I had a blast. Yeah, see that? A blast. Was having a great time. After wiping out the baddies, it was now time to meet Nick. He wanted me to get his plane from the Seed Ranch, and I was up for it. So I headed out to Seed Ranch to bring back Nick's plane and also to liberate the place. I wanted to be sneaky, but it was something that was easier said than done for me. I surveyed the area. It was really hot. Plan was to disable the alarms first, somehow, and then try and take out everybody without making too much noise and probably earn the bonus. Though the sheer amount of enemies present in the area, it really made me nervous about the stealthy part. The first alarm was pretty close to me, so I headed to disable it first. My weapons were upgraded by now, so I had suppressors and stuff. and the first alarm was done without any issues. It was time to move in. Eric was with me, but he was hiding in the bushes. I didn't want him to come in here and get shot up. He was supposed to be a backup for emergency situation. It was time for me to get to work once again. It started with a stealth kill, but soon everything went south because this guy here discovered me. And before I could take him out, he had already fired some shots, so there were multiple alarms present on the property still, and they all went off. Everybody was on alert mode now, and I had to take them out head on. It was time to wipe them out whatsoever. This place looked beautiful. It was amazing to look at. It was crawling with bad guys though. We had to do something about it. Bullets were flying, grenades and everything. It was a tough situation. My backup was still hiding and waiting for my signal to move in. I wanted to thin these guys out before I called Eric in. It was time to take the fight to them.
See that asshole? We're fucking done here!
My guns were upgraded by now. I had suppressors and whatnot. I had also obtained some good skills.
Somebody who wants an ass kicking there!
See, this looks amazing, isn't it? I was taking damage from so many directions. So many bad guys.
I'm taking heavy damage!
Eric was also engaged now.
I'm right where you want me!
He was a bit far though, so I had to
I saw one of them there!
signal him in, which was something he was waiting for,
Asshole!
and it was time to call him in now. And he arrived in style. Once again we were fighting like brothers. I was robbing the bodies too. I was having a great time, and thanks to Eric, only one bad guy remained between us and the liberation of this outpost. And soon he was wiped out, and it was liberation for Seat Ranch. Another victory for the resistance. It was now time to move on to next plane. It was gonna be my Top Gun moment. It was time to fly high. This was a fun thing. Really fun actually. The experience of flying next plane was amazing because on our way to him, we were gonna be targeting some of the girls' properties. Yeah, explosions. Lots of them were coming up. It was time to hit the cult hard. It was time to announce our presence to Joseph Seed and his family. Beautiful scenery, lots of explosions flying. What else do you want? It was a perfect experience. But as soon as I returned next plane, his place was attacked by lots of baddies. They were all over the place. So Nick decided to take the plane and fight them from the sky, which was really effective. And I stayed below to defend his house because his wife was still in there, and I had to make sure that she was safe. Eric was with me throughout this, so we had the situation under control. Together we managed to deal with the bad guys pretty nicely. It was lots of action, lots of bullets flying all over the place. They brought snipers and whatnot. It was lots of baddies just pouring in, and we kept dispatching them one after the other. It was a fun time without doubt, lots of bullets flying all over the place. Nick was raining fire from the sky, and me and Eric were dealing with the guys on the ground. It was a lot of shooting, lots of damage dealt and taken. But together we managed to take them out. And Nick, who was going to leave the place, decided to stay back, which was great news for me because he was gonna be of massive help to me in my future operations. And after that, there was a problem. John sent his men to get me once again. It was a bit annoying, but this time I was up for it. as I was looking to make progress in the main story too, so I was fine with it. And there she was, Deputy Hudson, right in front of me. And finally, John was there too. And we were up for some truly psychotic dialogue with John Seed. He was enjoying this, and so was I. I don't know much about Hudson. I was having a good time.
My parents.
And after going through the dialogue, I was on my way out, slowly taking out the bad guys one by one. I was being sneaky, as it was the best option. And this time I did just fine. I also had a gun now. Finally, I ran into John once again, and this time he dragged Hudson away, so I was not able to rescue her, and I had to escape the place quickly. It was about to explode, and John's lunatic army was attacking me. They were kind of scary because they were not ordinary people, not anymore. They were drugged, they were high, they were scary, and relentless too. I managed to put some distance between myself and them, and the pistol did the rest of the job. After that, I went for this mission, Testy Festy, where you have to bring this trailer back to Falls End. By now, I was already hooked to the game, so I was eager to make as much progress as possible within the weekend. I was having a great time. Falls End once again was being attacked by this fighter plane, so I had to deal with it. And it was not a big problem. It was a bit close though. I took some damage. Ran into some bad guys on my way to the Woodson Pig Farm, which was gonna be my next mission. I was constantly fighting. There was so much action. It was a hectic game session and one that I absolutely loved. There was a plane once again right above me, and I absolutely had to take it out because I really love shooting these things out of the sky. It was time to take it out. Yeah, it was taking damage. There it goes. And more baddies behind me. You just have to stay on the road and you're gonna run into so many of them, just popping up constantly. There's no shortage of people to shoot at. Finally, I was at the pig farm and it was time to rescue the hostages, which meant I had to deal with these guys using stealth. I had to be very careful. Recklessness could cost them their lives, so I took my time with this one. I didn't really want to fail and redo this. Slow and steady. That was a start there. Took out the guy in the window. I was using single shot now to conserve ammo. This guy had a flamethrower on him and there was no place to back off, so I had to try and distract him, which was not working by the way. So I eventually decided to, just jump him, and I was successful. He was dealt with, and the place was clear. And I managed to rescue the hostages. Mission was successful. Now we only had to defend the farm against incoming enemies, and the hostages were gonna help me with that. They were gonna help me fight the enemies incoming. So Not a big issue.
I'll explain.
After that, I ran into Zip, went for this mission where you have to basically euthanize his animals, his drugged animals. He wanted it done, so I had to. And there was a lot of resistance, lots of gold fighters present at the farm, and it was time to take out his psychotic animals, and he was really sad about it. And eventually it was done after a lot of shooting and stuff, and I made another powerful friend,
Great victory begins with tragedy. That's right.
if you say so, dude.
And where's that, you wonder?
Next, I was after this thing, the Widowmaker. It really brought a smile on my face as I'm recording this. Driving this thing was just pure joy. This thing is absolutely badass, and I wonder if we had this thing earlier when we were going after John's trucks, it would have been a cakewalk, isn't it? But then we wouldn't have had so much fun, and I wouldn't have died so much. So I had absolutely forgotten about this thing, but as soon as I saw it, all the memories came back from my first playthrough, which was on a PS4 which I bought back in 2020. It was a second-hand system and the game basically came with it. So it was a great experience, but it was not this good because it was a 30 FPS experience, which was nice, but this is just amazing, so much better. And I ran over the priest of all sin. This is embarrassing. I had to help him back up because he's a friend after all. And now was the time to deliver the truck to the lady here, and maybe I was gonna get lucky with her. The sheriff is not gonna be single anymore. If you enjoyed this one, please do leave a like, because with this came the end of my weekend with Far Cry 5, and I'm definitely gonna be playing this game right till the end. I'm gonna complete it because I'm having a blast with it, and thank you very much for watching, guys. Peace out.